whatever you do, don't do this and don't do what I do. Hello, today we are working on my 1987 Toyota Corolla. It is getting pretty warm out there, so I have decided to fix the air conditioner. So, luckily when I bought this car, it still had all the lines intact. I think it had a little bit of charge left. Unfortunately, while driving this back from Oregon, 700 miles, I had to cut the belt. Alright, so I got this thing tightened and it's still loose. So maybe AC does work and it was slipping this whole time, but we're just gonna cut this belt off and I'll tighten this tensioner so it doesn't walk. Just because the belt was a little loose and flopping around. Luckily I got a Rock Auto order of belts that I bought but haven't put in. So we might as well change the power steering and the alternator while we're at it. Okay, and looking at it, we have one service port here and another service port here. I'm guessing the thin line is the high side. The fat line should be the low side. And if we need to, I have a extra filter dryer that looks like it'll fit in there. And my AC manifold does not have those connections, so I bought this from Amazon. There's a bunch of stuff in here. $7, cheapest one. And what these are AC manifold adapters. So I don't know why there's so much stuff in here. Comes with a Schrader valve tool, but there's literally only the two adapters I need. That's it. You're not supposed to vent or evacuate anything into the atmosphere, but I feel like it's not even charged. This is just residual. Now it's atmospheric. There's nothing. Let's check the low side. Okay, yeah, it's nothing. There's a little bit of corrosion and stuff on here, so I'm just gonna get a Brillo pad and just clean. And this is where the O-ring is gonna seat. And I'm gonna correct myself. This is the high side. The thinner tube is the low side. Okay, once we have that all clean, we will use the supplied Schrader valve tool. Okay, we'll save this just in case. Okay, we got our new high side adapter. Nice little O-ring in there. But you should probably put a dab of oil on there just to help it seal. We're just going on dry. And we're just gonna snug it down. Open to interpretation. Whatever you want to tighten it to. Okay, we'll get to the low side. Eyeball looks like a 14. It's a 14. Alright, and same thing, same deal, just snug her down. Alright, so slow your horses. We can't just charge this thing up and wait for it to leak. We have to pull a vacuum because we opened up to the atmosphere. So there could be some moisture in the line. So we need to pull vacuum in order for it to pull negative 20 millimeters of mercury for 30 minutes and hope that it doesn't drop. But what I'm also going to do is apply air pressure to it. So we have to make an adapter. I'm going to put shop air in it, which we definitely are going to be introducing moisture into the system. But we're going to do that to help us find any leaks. Leaks are bad. Okay, so this adapter is the same as the bottle. So I'm going to take this adapter, take this air compressor hose fitting, And we're going to put this together. And you're probably going to ask, how are you going to do that? It doesn't fit. So we're going to use our lathe, our Ryobi lathe. We're going to bore out the center of this with this file. Okay, once that is tapered, nice and hot, I'm burning myself. We're going to taper this fitting. Same deal. So what you want to do is get your fittings, put flux on the inside and outside so the solder sticks real well. Make sure your fittings are nice and flat. I would recommend clamping this in a vise so your pieces stay straight. Get your torch, get it real hot, and then once it's hot enough, apply solder and knock it over. So again, get it real hot, and once it's nice and hot, you can apply solder without the flame directly being on the fitting, and it'll just suck it up. Look at that focus. Okay, so as you can see, the solder is in this joint. It flowed all the way through in here. Hopefully there's a good amount of solder. I'll say this is strong enough for shop air, 150 psi. So I got my manifold gauge here. We have our air connector here and our high and low side. Okay, so first connection, this screwed all the way down is off. So I can hook up shop air to this. And I don't hear any hissing, and this hasn't popped off, so I'll say that works. We will hook up our low side. Maybe that's why it came with extra caps. Okay. Let's screw that in. Okay, and I'm just opening up both sides so the air fills through both sides. I'm going to slowly open this. It says we have 30 psi in here. Okay, that's more like it. We got our shop air, about 90 psi. I already hear a leak here. Oh yeah, our connection sucks. Okay, we're gonna turn on the air compressor and try to get this system a little higher. Okay, so yeah, steadily climbing. Both valves open. I guess, yeah, we'll try to get to 120. And then we'll hold it there and see if it drops. If it doesn't drop, then we'll pull a vacuum and charge this thing up. We will close these valves. We will close this shop air. Okay, so you can see that this is a consistent 120 on both gauges. We're just going to spray around and check for any bubbles with our Dawn dish soap. I think we're so far so good. The time is now 12:25. We are going to come back. Let's give it 30 minutes. Let's come back at 1. Okay, coming back to this. It is still a solid 120. I don't think there's any leaks. We're not even going to change the filter dryer because this already has a bunch of oil in it. We're just going to charge it and test it out. Or let's vacuum it. Let's vacuum it and See if it holds vacuum, and while it's holding vacuum, we'll put on the AC belt. Quick Google search has led me to see only apply vacuum to the low side. It's at 0 right now. We're going to open this up, apply this Venturi vacuum that's really loud. Okay, right off the bat went to -10. We'll wait for our air compressor to charge up a little. Okay, getting closer to 20. Not only am I sweating, I'm also struggling. So my Harbor Freight pneumatic vacuum pump that I had for 15 years doesn't vacuum. It's like clogged. I gotta open it up. Something's clogging it. So I did the air fitting and I just did a hose directly to there. We're like -18 right now. So I'm just gonna open this up and we're just gonna keep pumping till we're 30. Didn't think a hand vacuum would vacuum the AC system, but obviously here we are. This is probably a good option for anyone who is dumb like me and doesn't have the right tools. But yeah, we're about -20 on there. This is torture. I'm getting carpal tunnel. No issue, we are still pulling vacuum, but for the belt, none of these belts fit because none of these belts fit. That's why. So, just in case you guys were wondering what price Rock Auto was, starts off at 55 cents, 63 cents, $1. That might beat the belt right there. $1 for a belt. Okay, we are back. We went to Vato Zone and got the 17325. And look at that. We are still holding negative pressure on our low side. This thing looks like new old stock. Nope. It's at the same length. Okay, we finally did it. This belt is for the air pump off of the Celica. That's a Smog air pump belt. And it fits. Perfect. Still holding vacuum. We are going to introduce our cleaner. Holding a vacuum, and did I forget to mention this is what we're using, r152a, to fill my AC because it's a lot cheaper and it blows a lot colder like r12. But do your own research and do it at your own risk. So yeah, on Amazon you could get this sketchy looking clamp thing, right? And you know, I did my homework. I watched a couple YouTube videos of a guy puncturing this. So what I'm gonna do is puncture this. So as long as it's blown cold, I'll be happy. Okay, we're gonna puncture it on the O of 10 ounce just because why not, right? Let's see, this is not that sketchy at all, right? Okay, okay, look at that. Nice seal. I'm gonna open up this to purge any air. It's a little purge. Okay, cool. We're going to introduce the air duster by opening up the low side. And since the system is under a vacuum, it's just gonna suck it all in. Look at this, look at our gauge. We're only filling on the low side. Hard to find information on the capacity. I don't have my Haynes manual ready, but it takes about 200 grams. There's 283 in here. A static charge on a normal car is like 90. I'll say the system has equalized, right? Not transferring any more Freon or r152 in here. Reach the equilibrium. I'm just going to clamp that off. Let's start up this car. We're going to keep going until the compressor kicks on. Okay, so how do you think we're going to fix this? We could apply power to the AC compressor to see if it kicks on, or to see if the switch is getting power. But how are we going to do that? With our brand new V2000 VDIAGTOOL power probe set. We are just going to connect this guy. You just hook it up. I can apply power. I can apply ground. So what I'm going to do is test the wire on the AC to see if it's getting power and ground. What we're going to do is carefully disconnect this wire, and this should be supplying power. Let's see if it is. It is not supplying power. So we could kick on the AC compressor. Hold on. This one's supposed to be supplying power. No power. Okay, so this lead goes to the compressor. Kick it on. Oh yeah, there we go. I see it charge up. It's spinning. Let's do it again. You apply power. Spins. Off power. Stop spinning. Apply power. Spins. Okay, so it's good to know that the AC compressor does work. Haven't read the instructions, but we could see what the frequency is, what the max voltage and min voltage is. And yeah, this will record high and low while still applying ground and power. Up is power, down is ground. Compressor's on. I gave it a jump and just let it drink a little more air duster. Let this drink a little more. Something's messed up because we're reading off the charts on our system. The high side is reading 60, the low side is 20. If you caught it earlier, you probably already know I'm a dingus. The high side and low side got reversed because I don't know what's what. So I was recharging the system through the high side, which is kind of a big no-no. I should have been refilling it through the low side, which is technically this large bore. That completely makes sense why this gauge is lower than this gauge. It should be opposite, which I should flush the system, or not flush the system. I should swap these gauges around, but I think we're a little past that. Whatever you do, don't do this and don't do what I do. Okay, I'm gonna say this can is empty. I'm gonna choke off this side. Okay, let's do the real test, which is inside the car. It's definitely cooler in this car than it is in this garage. We're going to figure out how much weight this system takes, because I still don't know. This here. Yeah, it says this can is 10 ounces. The capacity online supposedly is 27. I'm hoping this pressure switch works again, and maybe it's a little low, so we'll just puncture this. A little low, 1, 2, 3. Okay, Okay, so let's say you overcharge your system because you're a dingus and the internet gave you different values for a lot of things. And you thought that the compressor wasn't kicking on because there wasn't enough Freon or air duster. And we got too much pressure. So you hooked up your old can here and it transferred some of it out, but not really. We're going to perform some science. If I keep this cold, well, now this is filling up with the air duster. I'm going to get this down to like a static charge of 100 or 90. I definitely wasn't trusting it because my high side and low side were opposite. So I did a whole lot of things wrong. 81, almost 80. Let's start this up. Okay, did I mention I don't know what I'm doing? That does not look good pressure-wise, but I couldn't find a chart for r152. My sight glass still looks a little low. There's some bubbles, but that pressure's kind of high. It's nice in here. Oh man, it is pretty dang nice. Okay, let's get the temp gun right off the bat. Oh yeah, that's nice. Okay, so let's just point to that. That is 102 degrees. So I will call it a success. This is just at idle. So if I just point this here and then rev it up to 1500, you'll see it drop. Dropping, 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 dropping. Woo. Nice. It is hot. So hot that I just want to roll up my window and just hang out in this car because, yeah, this is definitely better than before. So we're gonna leave it as is. It blows cold. It works. I'll only say in the future I might put a condenser fan because there's no condenser fan, and I'm gonna say the AC condenser is overheating. Maybe in the future, if I do have to evacuate the system, I will change the filter, dryer, and expansion valve, but for now, better than before.